It's a new year and we are back on the channel, and I made out like an absolute bandit this year for the holidays. So we're gonna talk about all the cool stuff that I got. And that's what we're gonna do this week on the Storycraft Society. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Garmin. This is the Storycraft Society, and it is a new year. New channel, new year, same channel. I don't know where I was going with that. It is a new year, and over the last few weeks, it's been the holidays. My family celebrates Christmas, so I got a bunch of cool Christmas presents this year from friends and family, and I just can't help but share them with you all because I am so excited about all of it. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I'm an excitable guy. I like being excited about stuff, and all I can say is that this year proved to be no exception for me. I'm doing a lot of talking right now, so let's just dive into it because I'm excited to talk about it. It is hard for me to come up with a better place to start than with the D&D books. I got 2 books this year. That's actually kind of rare for me. Normally I get so many books that I don't know how to read or comprehend them all. So I actually am a little glad that this year it's only 2, but boy are the 2 something that I want to read cover to cover. So this year I got both the Book of Ebon Tides and Tales from the Shadows by Kobold Press. Both of these books are something that as soon as they dropped, I had my eye on because it takes place in Kobold Press's Shadowlands, where their Shadow Fae come from. I am a huge fan of Fae in 5th edition. I feel like it's one of those things where you don't see a lot of them, and I'm not exactly sure why, but I mean, obviously everybody has to have their monsters. Some people love dragons, some people like demons. For me, it's just I really, really enjoy Fae, and both of these books fit into that exquisitely well. The first one, the Book of Ebon Tides, is basically a setting book and a source book for running in the Shadowlands. It gives a whole bunch of examples of like new races that the players can play, a bunch of new subclasses that the players can play. It also gives just an immense amount of lore about that particular area, and the lore part is my favorite part of it. The player abilities will excite my players, and that's super exciting. The new races will get them all jazzed up. But really for me, the juice is in the world building, and this book is just chocked full of awesome world building. The other book, Tales from the Shadows, is actually a very Yawning Portal-esque book where it's a bunch of small adventures. Are you getting together with your friends to just have a one singular game night of D&D? Well, Tales from the Shadows is a perfect place to go to find an adventure that you could probably complete in one night, but also you could stack them together or expand them and use more of them to make it a longer, more drawn out session, and you could probably get a whole campaign out of that book. It is all based around lower levels. I'm saying this without double checking, so actually I'll show it on screen whether I'm right or wrong. I think 10th level is the highest level adventure in the book, which is not too terribly high, but I prefer those kind of lower tiers of running anyway, so it's a perfect fit for me. All the adventures are very fairy in nature. Some are dark fairy and some are lighter, more ridiculous fairy. And if that is interesting to you at all, I definitely recommend you check not one, but both of these books out. They make a great pair. The next thing that I got was a little device that I didn't know that I needed until I got it, and boy, am I so glad that I did. This was a gift from Olivia's parents, and it's called a Boogie Board. So what this little device is for note-taking, but what makes it so awesome is that you don't have to use a whole bunch of scraps of paper, and that's the thing that I did as a GM when I was tracking my monsters' hit points. I would pull out a scrap of paper. It made for a ton of waste. This is just that. It's a piece of paper that you can scribble notes down on, but you don't have to worry about having a whole bunch of waste. It's super simple to use. It is very straightforward. It's like an adult Etch-a-Sketch almost. I mean, it's really, really, really neat. And I will be using this in every single game of Dungeons & Dragons that I run forever. super, super useful. And when you click a button, it literally erases the whole thing. And like an absolute child, all Christmas Day, I just would like write stuff down on it and hit the button and be pleased with how it auto erases itself. Really, really neat. As far as terrain goes, I got 2 things this Christmas. The first one was from my dear, dear friend, Drew. You all met him in the beach videos, and also you should continue to keep your eye out for him in future videos. But he got me this awesome pack of dungeon doors by Terrain Crate. These are all a bunch of various different types and sizes of doors. Anybody who has ever run a terrain-based game of Dungeons and Dragons knows that you need as many doors as you possibly can have, and different types just makes it that much more immersive. So they just are absolutely exciting, and I cannot wait to get them painted up and ready to go for the table. The second thing that I got was another gift from Olivia's parents, and that is this Monster Fight Club's collection of bridges and barricades. This is really funny because, well, you all don't see the order of the videos that are going to come out, but I just actually made a whole bunch of these for a future video, and I didn't have these when I filmed that video. So now I have a whole bunch of these, but unwrapping a package of this was a lot easier than making them. They actually weren't that hard to make. You'll see in a future video, but I have a lot of them now. And it's nice to have the little stairs because I didn't end up making stairs. So another really, really nice piece. Set of pieces, I guess. It's a set of pieces. Both were very useful. So the last thing that I got, and what was the majority of my Christmas, was this beautiful stack of boxes here, and then this one on top. Board games, I guess with an S, was the theme of my Christmas this year. So I'm going to start with this. This is going to be a shout out to my buddy Corey. Shout out Mr. Moose. He got me this game called Good Dog, Bad Zombie. I have not had the opportunity to play it yet because it is literally the week after Christmas, but it is a cooperative game. I love cooperative games, and it is this super cool thing where you get to like adventure around a city and you get to go to different locations, and not only that, but it's dog related. And anybody who knows me, even remotely personally, knows that my dog is my child. You give me anything with a dog in it, and I'm going to be all about it. So thank you very much, Corey. And I will be reporting on how this game plays once I have time to dive into it. But then that will move me along to this big, ginormous stack of Everdale. I played Everdale this past year. A really good friend of ours had it. Has it still. With that group, that was like basically my main board gaming group. Like if I'm gonna play a board game that has more than just a little level of complication, like a pretty complicated board game, not to say that Everdale is super complicated, but it's more complicated than like Monopoly. He got it, and he got almost all of the expansions. And when I played it, I was like 2 turns in, and I turned to Olivia, and I was like, I have to buy this game. And then she rightly pointed out, who are we going to play it with other than this group of people that get together that play more complicated board games and enjoy more complicated board games? And I said, you're right. And then we got together again and I played it. And then like 2 turns into that game, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to get that game. So needless to say, she worked it out with my mom to end up with this huge stack of Everdale games. This is every one of the expansions that is currently out, including the ones that came out in the Kickstarter that was this summer. It is all so spectacular, and I don't have the time to do a video on what all I love about this game, so I'm going to gloss over it very, very quickly. But it is a worker placement game. The theme of the game is that you are a bunch of anthropomorphic factions like the squirrels or the rabbits or the spiders that are all trying to build cities around the Everdale area. And then, of course, the person who builds the best, biggest city is going to win. There's upgradable card mechanics like in Seven Wonders, where if you build this card, it will allow you to build this card for free, or you can spend resources to build them. There's forest locations where you can go to get resources that change every time. There's a marketplace called the Meadow in the center of the board where people can go to buy things. You also have a closed card hand where only you can buy things. The game evolves. It starts real slow and then it gets really big by the end. I love the heck out of this game. I might end up doing a review video on it just because I like it so much. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm sure there's plenty of better people on YouTube to do board game reviews, but if anything that I said sounds even slightly exciting to you, or you see all of the cool footage with the big 3D tree and the amazing artwork and the board looking so great, definitely check Everdale out. When I'm playing board games this year, almost all of it will be Everdale specifically. I'm definitely excited about this big stack right here. And one thing that I forgot to mention when I was talking about Everdale in my talking heads was the things that endear me to this game more so than anything else. And I'll give you an example from the Everdale Belfair expansion. They have a page, 2 pages technically, in here where they go through celebrating 100 years of Everdale, that since making this village underneath the tree, all the animals celebrate. And what they did was they gave something that happened every single year. Like year 7, Nibbles McGregor grows record-breaking pumpkin. 40, Fort Faraway erected, Battle of Badger's Teeth. Year 61, bone dry drought ruins crops. Year 96, a meteor shower strikes Everdale. So I love when companies go through the effort of bringing their worlds to life the same way that they bring this to life right here. Everdale, it like surprises me how fun this game is, but also that stuff just takes it up the next level. The very last thing that I have is the lighting that you can see behind me. My dad was so nice to get me 2 new lights for filming for the channel, and they're these panel LED lights that not only do the basic blue light and yellow light, but also they change into colors and have all kinds of cool effects. I cannot wait to see how I'm gonna use those to up the production quality of the channel for this year. But that's what I got this year, and boy do I feel so ridiculously lucky to feel loved by people that much, but also that I got to spend the holiday with friends and family. That means more to me by a long shot than the gifts. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this little journey where I got to be excited about all of my Christmas presents like a child should after the holiday. If you enjoyed this video, definitely leave me a like, a comment, all of that sort of thing. What cool things did you get for the holidays that you are super excited about? Let me know down in the comments below. The number one way that you can help a small YouTube channel out is to share this video with a friend that you think would enjoy it. If you have that one friend who loves watching other people talk about their Christmas presents on the internet, that friend would be a great one for you to share this video with. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And next week we will be back with the regular scheduled programming of a Dungeons & Dragons terrain building, game running, excitable Garmin channel. Until next week, I'll be seeing you.